Welcome to Brisbane. Do you even know where you are, or is it a matter of just a different city, a different night?
I have a pretty good briefing from my tour manager. In fact, on the set list of songs, he writes at the top which city I'm in, because I have been known to make the odd mistake before.
We'd hate that. People would be so offended if you did that.
Definitely, and I've done it when I was in Austin. I said it was great to be here in Houston, and worse than that, I've said it's great to be here in Dublin when I was in Belfast. And yeah, as an ex-soldier, I don't think I could make there's greater sin, I think.
How did you get out of it?
I think they just thought it was a really badly delivered joke.
Oh. So do you get to see any of our city, or is it like airport, hotel room, convention centre?
Yeah, I practice speed tourism. And so yeah, I get out maybe for an hour a day in between travel and work. And so today I've gone out by the water itself and across the bridge, and it's a really cool city.
How do you like our winter?
Well, this doesn't seem like a winter to me, does it? Yeah, pretty. I think you've chosen a good place to live.
Tell me about the concert tonight.
Well, it's the Moon Landing tour. Moon Landing's my new album out, and so this tour started in Shanghai on New Year, and New Year's Eve it was, in fact, and we carry on till March 2015 in a new city almost every single day during that time. But yeah, I have a 5-piece band. We get up on stage and play, of course, songs from Moon Landing, but obviously songs that people know and hopefully like from older albums as well. And we're having a blast, really.
Do you have a personal life, and if so, where does it live while you're on tour?
Well, I have a proper home, which I haven't been to since last August. But yeah, I'd say my proper home really is a tour bus.
Because you like it that way?
Or I have very expensive relations who need funding. No, I mean we have a most amazing way of life. It's a job that I love. We get up on stage every night and we play songs that I've written that that mean something to me. That my band, as a band of friends, enjoy playing, and we're very lucky that an audience turn up. And so yeah.
Are you surprised by that? You're not surprised by that.
Well, I never thought I'd be doing a world tour. I'm on my 4th world tour now. I really thought I'd only ever be doing something like a tour of North London. So to be doing this is mind-blowing.
So, I mean, it seems like if you read your bio, you seem like a very highly successful person. Whatever you seem to put your hand to, you do really well. Do you imagine you'll be doing this in 10 years' time?
I don't think a bio is a very good judge of anyone, is it? Because they've had someone write it for them, and it's only ever going to be really positive, so they're not going to say anything other than nice
Okay,
things.
well then what have you failed at?
But yeah, with music takes a few things. Music takes some really strong songs in the first place, and it takes a bit of a talent and practice, which I've done over the years, a really good band and a really good team around me, and what you definitely need, a bit of luck along the way as well.
What have you failed at? I'm not going to let that one go. What are you not good at?
Well, I think you can hear in some of my songs plenty of those things. People call me a romantic, and all of them about failed romance. That would be for starters. I have a song called Same Mistake, which is about making repetitive mistakes. There are plenty of them out there.
That's not revealing anything. That just says I have to listen to your music. Now, tell me about Twitter, because everyone's been making so much kind of noise about that over the last couple of days. You have managed to kind of refute and take on the trolls in a way that no one else seems to have been able to do that. Do you spend a lot of time thinking about your responses to them?
Maybe I've just had more practice, more abuse along the way. I don't know. I think I came from 6 years in the army, and before that boarding school, all boys, and we just take the piss out of each other all the time. And generally you're taking the piss out of people who you kind of feel comfortable enough to take the piss out of them. So I always see it as quite a friendly thing. And Twitter, we take it so seriously, and yet it's just people's opinions. And why anyone should take their opinion so seriously, and why we should take their opinion so seriously is mad. It makes the news. What someone's written on Twitter makes the news.
It does.
But we've got to remember that guy writing those 5 nasty words on his phone was there probably in the shadows, probably in his bedroom, on his own, probably with his trousers around his ankles. And we don't focus on the positives instead, which is like I play a concert for a few thousand people, and those thousands of people have bought albums, learned songs, bought tickets, queued up outside, got hotel rooms and planes and trains to get to that concert. Thousands of them, in their thousands, the effort they made to do that. And yet we focus on one guy on his own in his bedroom who couldn't even be asked to pull his trousers up around his ankles and come to the gig to say how much he didn't like me or a different artist. It's mad that we should focus on him, that lonely dude.
Do you have a favourite? a favourite tweet that you've responded to?
Well, normally the more perverse ones I find entertaining, and obviously the audience seems to enjoy those too. You can tell by the number of retweets; they're all kind of vaguely sexually orientated.
Yeah, I was going to say my favourite, James Blunt looks like my left testicle, to which you responded, do you remember?
Yeah, I said you better go and see a doctor.
Yeah. And that got retweeted all around the world. Were you ever bullied?
No more than anyone else is. You know, I got in the old fight occasionally. I'm not a very big man, so I probably had small man's disease, Napoleon's complex, and probably started quite a few fights at school. You know, I've ended up in the army as well. No more than anyone else.
Because, I mean, I think you're being seen as a bit of a sort of hero to the bullies because you're sending it back and doing it in a funny way. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I definitely think it's not worth taking seriously. I mean, I think in the job that I do, I think it's worth. I mean, I sing some over-emotional songs. I'm a man, and yet I sing songs where I look like I'm crying. And again, coming from ex-army, you know, it's not a very macho thing to do. And I get a lot of grief for that, and quite right. So I should get some grief for that, and I'm very comfortable with it. But I think you've also got to work out what I'm doing. You know, where a big urban artist says how big and strong he is, if you checked out how he arrived to the stage, he was led there by security guards protecting him, normally from a bunch of women. So I don't think he's necessarily that big and strong. And instead, as a confident man, I stand up on stage and I don't talk about how big and strong I am. I talk about my weaknesses too, which sometimes takes more courage. I don't talk about my successes so much in song. I also talk about my failures, not just about my hopes, but also my fears. And I stand up on stage under a spotlight, and I take off any shell, and I put myself out there to be judged, and I'm fine with being judged. And the criticism and the critique always comes, as I say, from people in the shadows. So who's the more brave? Which takes some more confidence, and so I'm pretty much at ease with that. And if I get any criticism, you know, it's a joy and a pleasure to vibe and have some banter with it and enjoy it. And it's really great that music is about that, because if we all like the same thing, life would be really boring.
Very boring. Tell me how you write your songs.
I normally rob other people's ideas as best I can without trying to get caught by publishers.
Higher. Really? No.
Elton John could definitely probably take me to court. Well, I think, you have to have a bit of, an experience to write about, anything that makes you feel strongly.
But is it a hard process, or is it like anything, if you can do it really quickly, then that'll be the most successful song, and if you agonise over it for months, it doesn't happen?
Yeah, I think you're probably right that something that comes in a flash is, it means it's come from the heart without any thought. You haven't overthought it. You're Beautiful took me 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds to write. All the words in the song is 3 minutes 30 seconds long, so you can tell how fast that came. But a song like Wise Men off my first album took me about 5 years to write, and that's why it makes no sense.
We spoke to the Eagles last week, and Tim B. admitted that he has forgotten the words to Hotel California while on stage. Has that ever happened to you?
Not with my most famous song, no. And I think because Hotel California, I think, is probably arguably one of their most famous. But I've definitely forgotten words. Last night I was doing a cover of a Slade song, which was a really fun song, and I just couldn't remember any of the words, and I made up the whole song, and I made them up so badly it made no sense whatsoever.
Did anyone realise?
Oh, I think every single member of that audience thought, what are you doing?
You've gone red. You've gone red.
No, it was just, it was one of those terrible moments. Yeah,
tour manager's agreeing. So, what are you doing tonight? Are you doing a cover?
I'm doing a cover, but I might just have the lyrics down at the base of the piano written for me, just in case.
Tattoos, do you have any?
No.
Oh, did you not ever? You're an army guy, isn't that part of your prerequisite?
I do, they're just hidden on me somewhere. But if you're offering to try and find them, we could do that. We might just have to turn the camera off.
No, I just ask every person we interview what their tattoos are and what they mean. So you have none?
Okay, no, I do have a barcode on the sole of my foot, which is actually my army rank, name and number.
You don't really? Why? Why that?
In case I get killed, then you can just easily...
Are you showing me?
No, in the same way I have like dog tags, just in case I'm dead and buried too. You just stick one in your mouth and take the other one with you. So...
What does it say? What does it say in your dog tag?
These are actually our ones for our tour. I got them all for my band.
Ah.
Mine says Captain Blunt, which I was, my army number, but then it's got Moon Landing. But theirs have all got their kind of, who plays drums and who plays bass.
Just in case they forget.
Just in case they die alcohol poisoning on the road.
Final question. When you were in the army, you were also fully into music too, weren't you? Is it true that you strapped a guitar to the tank?
Yeah, I mean, I would have put it inside. I wanted to strap the soldiers to the outside of the tank and keep the guitar inside, because then it would have been safer from the various mortars that we were that we came into contact with. But my commander said I had to put the soldiers inside the tank, and as a result, the guitar was on the outside. It survived the war, and then I went to London. I was trying to get myself a record deal. I recorded some demos, and as I left with EMI Music, amazing record company, as I left. On my motorbike that I then had, being a small guy, I need a big motorbike to make myself look more macho, and I put my guitar over my back, and I rode off, and at 2 miles an hour, I lost balance. I fell over in front of all of these guys who come up to watch me leave, and I smashed the mirror, the indicator, and the guitar on my back, and the bike was so heavy they had to then help me lift the bike up. I felt like such a twat.
Twat's such a good English word.
And not surprisingly, I didn't get signed by EMI Music.
Okay, but you can fly an aeroplane, you can drive a tank, you can ride a car, and you can't ride a motorbike at 2 k's an hour. Is that what you're telling me?
I can ride it faster than that.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.